Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your reading of September the 10th through the 16th. My name is Dawn, and you're listening to Dawn Williams Tarot. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening to my channel. If you're new, please like and subscribe to help me grow. And if you've been here a while, I would really like your feedback on how I plan to do the readings today. It's going to be a little different than what I typically do. I'm going to be adding many more cards. I will be pulling 3 oracle cards to set the energy for each of the rows that I'm creating. And then I'm going to lay out your tarot cards. And then at the very end, I'm going to give you 3 main themes or 3 energies that you might want to specifically work with this coming week. Okay. So one of the things that Spirit has been guiding me to do for this week specifically, because last week we worked on our throat chakra. If you didn't listen to that specific video, I suggest that you go listen to it, because this month is the whole month of September is a month where we're really going to need to be speaking our truth, really stepping into our sovereignty this month. But the thing that Spirit was telling specifically about this week, the week of the 10th, is that, we still have 6 planets in retrograde. We had 7 because Venus has gone direct now. But we do have Mercury in retrograde. And the reason why Mercury in retrograde is important to point out at this time is because we're halfway through that retrograde cycle for Mercury. Mercury usually lasts about 3 weeks, sometimes a little bit more in retrograde. And Mercury is the planet that rules communication. So communication could be problematic, specifically when you're in this midpoint of this, of this retrograde cycle for Mercury. How that affects you. So anything electronic, that can include your car. So your car, any electronics can be affected. Your internet can be affected. Your cell phone stuff can be affected. Your computer, laptop, whatever it is that you use, your devices can be affected. The internet itself, right? The internet itself can actually be affected during this time. The other things that can be affected are travel. So let's say you're going to go on a trip. You go to, you travel a lot. Maybe you travel for business, whatever it is. But during this specific period, you're really going to want to just double check all of your plans. Make sure that if you're getting a ride to the airport, that you have all things in place so that if something should happen, that you can still make your flight. Also double check your flights to make sure that there's no issues or problems. Recently, I had a situation where I was planning a 3-week trip. I was gone for 3 weeks. When I got to the airport, I typically always park in economy because it's the cheapest, area for us to park in. However, the economy parking was not available to the outside public. They had dedicated the economy parking to their employees because they were doing renovations. But it wasn't really, I didn't get any type of a notification stating that was the case. So I ended up having to park in, long-term parking, which ended up costing me a slight fortune. So I'm just using my example here as a reason to just double check. Okay. And then the other thing is, last week when we were talking about speaking your truth, with this retrograde, you want to make sure that if you're delivering an important message to someone, that you have their complete undivided attention. If you're talking to someone and they're busy doing busy work, their mind not be completely, totally engaged in your conversation. So there's a there's room for error, there's room for lack of communication and complete understanding. So just make sure that if you're delivering any type of a message, that you have the person's undivided attention. Okay. So those are some of the things that Mercury can affect in our lives. One of the things that Spirit had me do is they had me look at all the words that start with the letter R-E. So all the re words, retrograde, R-E-T-R-O. So regroup, refocus. These are all energies that we're working through when we have planets that are in retrograde, okay? Rebuild, redo, rebalance, refuel, rebirth, revisit, reflect, realign, recreate. And then two of my favorites are relax, because we typically don't spend enough time recharging our own batteries, right? We're constantly going. We're just a very amped up society. We're constantly on the go. We're doing this and doing that, especially if you have kids. If you have kids, they take up a tremendous amount of your time and your space, because that's part of your job is for to ensure their welfare. So as a result, we don't get to relax as much as we would like to. So if you can take moments out of your day, try to do that. And the last one for me is rejoice. Rejoice. I think that energy, even when I say the energy and I think of that energy, it just fills me up inside. It fills up my heart with just really positive, good energy. And it's like rejoicing in the moment, rejoicing for gratitude, and rejoicing for the things that we have in our lives, all of those types of things that we can embrace. Okay, so those are all the things that we do during the retrogrades. As we think about all those things, we're processing all of those things. Lessons will come in that will allow us to work more deeply to clear some of those energies. So just have an awareness of that. Okay, so now I'm going to do your actual readings. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to take myself off the screen so that you are focusing directly on the cards itself. That helps me just focus on the cards too, reading for you. Whereas when I'm, conversing with you, I feel like I have to keep eye contact so that I don't seem rude, like I'm not paying attention, because I am paying attention. So I'm going to go ahead and take myself off. At the end, I will bring myself back on to close out, and that's when I'm going to give you your last, 3 cards that are going to set your energy for the week, or this is kind of, however you want to use those last 3 cards. Okay. So I'm taking myself, hiding myself. Okay. Put my glasses on so I can see. And I would really love your feedback as to what you think of this reading. If you like the way that Spirit has asked me to do these layouts. Oh, nice. Okay. I'll make sure I can see everybody. So let's pull these up a little bit. Perfect. Ooh, great card. Wow. Okay. So we have some major arcana cards here. So we have the Hierophant, we have the Empress, and we have the Hanged Man. And I'll explain each of those as we go. And just so you understand the layout of this particular spread, this first column is kind of your past energies working up to your current week, right? So this would be your present. So past, present, and then future, the things that you're bringing in so that you can work on these things later in the month or whenever it is that you're going to be working on those. So we start off with this card called, instead of taking on the fear of others, I reflect love. Now, this is a great card. The thing that I find interesting about this card, this is a new deck to me, and there's no explanations as to why or how this person came up with the information on the card. So it's really left up to your interpretation. And when I look at that, I feel like there's a lot of fear right now on the planet anyway. There's a lot of fear in terms of potential, nuclear war, what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. There's a lot of fear on the planet right now. And you can't really get away from it, to be honest with you. However, the thing that you can do is you can control your reaction to those things. All of that is really external to you at this point. And you have in every moment an opportunity to make a decision as to how you want to react to that. I'm not saying bury your head in the sand. I am saying that there are things that are outside of our control. So if we just focus on the things that we can control our reaction to whatever is happening. We can control our outbursts. We can control, it's kind of like with this card right here is we can see the bigger picture. This is the giraffe spirit, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But those are the kind of things that I am thinking of, taking on other people's fear. Especially if you're really tied to your phone and you're tied to the news, or you're tied to alternate news, or you watch videos and you have a really good idea as to what's manifesting, what we're working through. We're also, I keep saying that we're in a spiritual war. We absolutely are in a spiritual war. I don't mean that in the way of, angels and demons, but there are people that believe that is exactly what is happening. My feeling is that, this planet, this 3D planet, has been a planet of polarities, of duality. And this planet Earth, Gaia, she's actually starting her ascension process. And because of that, the way that the grand cycles work, our lives are cyclical. If you believe that you are a spiritual being in a human body experiencing life at this point in time, that's what my beliefs are, then the thing is that, we're meant to be here as a soul to evolve, and we are meant to progress. So, one of the things about this fear part of it is don't take on other people's fear, because there's nothing you can do to process that fear, and all it does is bring down your vibration. One thing I do see right here is this Four of Swords. You can see the 3 swords here and this one below. He's actually laying down like he's resting. This card typically does state that you need rest, that you need to take a break. You need to take time for yourself. You need to regroup, that you've been giving a lot of your energy out there and not replenishing, right? So swords have to do with the way that we think. And then swords also have to do with how we express with our mind. There is some hidden information here because this is below him. So it could be that you're waiting for messages of some kind, but it's really saying that you really need to take some time to, recharge your batteries. The other thing that this card does demonstrate to me and does represent to me is blessings. So just take the time. It feels as though you'll be able to create that time if you make the decision that that's what it is that you want to do, is to relax and to recoup so that you have more energy for all the other projects that you're working through. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So Pentacles has to do with our physical security, our wealth, our health, our career, our possessions, and our home life. And the Knights in Tarot are our action takers. They are the ones that go out and, want to do adventures, and they want to, go full charge ahead. But this particular night needs to plant some seeds. This guy, like, he's a homebody. He really doesn't want to go out and adventure. He just enjoys, taking care of his fields, taking care of his material needs. That's what his role is. But in reality, he needs to get moving because he's the slowest moving knight in the tarot. So whatever it is that you're working on in terms of a project that has to do with, money or physical security, get going, get moving. Because then you bring in the Hierophant. Now, again, the Hierophant is it's a major arcana. So this is energy that you have been working through. Again, this gentleman has got his two hands up because he's going to be blessing these two individuals here. The Hierophant has to do with guidance and inner wisdom. So it could be that you're going to be doing some personal spiritual development on yourself. Maybe you're going to be taking some type of a class, whatever that may be. Maybe you're going to Bible study. Maybe you're going to do some type of teaching, whatever. However, when I see the Hierophant, it always reminds me that your biggest teacher is yourself. You really don't have to go out of yourself in order to get your answers. What I find is when I'm given the guidance from within myself, I may go out and just double check that I am on the right path, or I'm on the right, on the right path. And a lot of times those confirmations will come in, even if you just ask Spirit, can you confirm that this is a truth for me? It'll come in pretty quickly. So this energy, even though it's in your past, I feel as though you have been working with this energy for a little while. I feel as though you are your own sage. You are your own guru. This energy brings the divine within the self, right? And you can bless others. Absolutely, you can bless others in your life, and you do every day just by being you. But basically what this is saying is go within, your answers are within. You are your own guru. You are your own, you're your own temple. You're the one that brings in that energy of God, the God within your heart. And God is with you every moment of every day. And if you have not developed some kind of an energy where you communicate with that part of source that is within you, it may be a very good time for you to start doing that. But it looks as though you have been. Okay, so here is the Giraffe spirit. And this is actually an energy that's saying, see the bigger picture, right? So in terms of going within and seeing the bigger picture, is this specifically to the bigger picture of what's going on the planet and your role in it? Is the bigger picture meaning step into your sovereignty and be the example and the leader that you were meant to be? Does it mean just embracing that bigger part of you, knowing that you are divine, that you are sovereign, and then stepping into that role, stepping into that ownership? And the reason why I say all of those things is because then you have this Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a new beginning, a new start. This is a gift from God, this wand. And the wands all have to do with inspiration and creativity and passion, motivation, and our intuition. So it seems as though you're going to be tapping into an area that is going to be crazy creative, right? You're going to be starting either a new project, you're going to be introduced to somebody that is going to help you tap into your motivation. It could be a person, could be a project, it could be a move even, right? It could be just about anything that inspires you. And aces in the tarot are about new concepts or new ways of viewing things. And whatever this is that's coming in, it's going to have a huge spark of creativity for you. And then we come to the King of Swords. Kings in tarot represent knowledge, either gaining knowledge. Let's see if I can get that in there better. There we go. Gaining knowledge or using existing knowledge, right? So typically a king has to work through all the levels in order to become a king. And the other thing about kings is that kings are, could be representing you, that energy that you are tapping into. Doesn't necessarily have to be gender specific, but typically this, the swords have to do with the way that we express with our minds. So this is a person who is an analytical thinker. This person has to have facts. This person likes to understand how things work. They have mastered a lot of those skills in order for them to become the king. But this is the type of energy this person is about. This person wants you to prove it to them. Like they'll accept your word, but they want proof that what you're saying makes sense to them before they can assimilate and digest the information that you are sharing with them. So this could be that this is a mentor for you. This is somebody that thinks along those lines, that are going to influence you in somehow, or this could very well be a professional person that you talk to or are involved with this week. And then for the last energy in your present, it looks like you're going to have some nights, some sleepless nights. So it looks as though there is something that is brewing that happens when you go to sleep, that there's thoughts that keep you awake, at night. So nines have to do with attainment or progression or advancement. And in this situation, this person, which has this comforter here that is comforting for them, but they can't get any sleep. So it's like nightmares. It's the monkey brain that happens to all of us. Like we have something that when we go to sleep at night, it just picks away at our brain and we agonize over it. So as it's in your present week, there may be something that's going to come in and trigger you. So the suggestion that I have for you is that if you're trying to make a decision on something that is going to affect you, how you communicate or how you come to a decision on something, my suggestion is think about it during the day. Put time aside to look at the pros and cons of whatever it is that you're trying to, make the decision upon, so that when you go to bed at night, if you've already made that decision, then you don't have to have your sleepless night. But it just feels as though this is a kind of a nagging energy that is going to be triggering you for the week, because this would be in your present information here. So then we have living with prosperity. Oh, with purpose and living with purpose brings me prosperity. And so for me, this is just the universe reminding you that, your life has meaning. You have meaning, you have purpose. By being who you are and you making a difference, your trials and your tribulations and all the things that you are learning about is led you to live your life with purpose, right? So doing everything you do with love in your heart, I think that's the biggest message that I take away from this specific card. Prosperity isn't just about material wealth. It's about overall wellness, well-being, a sense of achievement or feeling fulfilled, right? So a prosperous person trusts that everything they're doing is creating waves of goodness, creating waves of love, and creating an energy that as you project that out into the universe, it is then returned to you. And what's beautiful about that is then you embrace this Empress card. Now, what's interesting is, I've done a couple of readings already for this week, and a couple of the other signs have gotten this Empress card. What I love about the Empress card is that she is the divine feminine. She's the divine female. And let me preface that even though this is divine female energy, and perhaps you may be a male, doesn't matter, what gender you identify with, the energy of this card is still the same. It's still about abundance and knowing your worth, right? So again, that brings you with living with purpose, brings me prosperity. It's confirming this energy in this card. If you look at her, she's quite comfortable in her own skin. She knows how to manifest abundance in her life. And again, as I was saying before, abundance doesn't necessarily mean, a ton of money. Abundance can be fulfillment and joy and happiness and all the things that make us feel good within ourselves. And she has mastered all of that, right? She's sitting on this, beautiful bench. She's quite comfortable. She's got her scepter here. She's got her 2 crowns. If you look, she's got this crown that has the 12 stars. That could represent the 12 signs of the zodiac. That could represent, a whole bunch of different things. And then she's got this other little wreath card above her head. This wreath above her, wreath crown above her head is what I meant to say. And basically, that's just, it's kind of her basic instincts, I believe. And then this is the crown, in my view, is that because she's mastered so many different things, and she is just stepped into her, femininity. Now, the thing is we all have feminine energy. We all have divine feminine. We all have divine masculine. It's just, what are the percentages of both? And then also, how much of each do you utilize in your day-to-day life? The other thing that I'm noticing on this card is the waterfall. And the waterfall to me represents infinite abundance, infinite information. She goes within to find her knowledge about things. And she's quite intuitive. She's a natural healer. The other thing I want to emphasize with the Empress card is, if you're a female and you're in childbearing years, you may want to be aware that you will be really fertile at this time. So, if you're not wanting to have a child, you may want to take precautions about fertility, because that's one of the things that she represents. Okay, that's a great card. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So we have the Knight of Cups, and we also have this Knight of Pentacles, right? This guy has got all these barren fields here. I feel like he needs to plant his seeds so he can grow some more stuff. But this guy, he's bringing his cup. The cups have to do with our emotions, right? So this knight is the knight that would be the knight in shining armor, right? He would be coming in and he would be having really open heart communications with you. So it could very well be that he's taking action, that he's coming in. He wants to pursue you. This could be love if you're looking for love. The other thing that knights talk about are taking action. So we'd be taking action with your heart space, something that brings you love and joy. And then you have the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is another major arcana. And as this is in your future, that means you're going to be working with the Hanged Man energy for a little while. And the Hanged Man has to do with distractions, really. If you look at him, he's hanging upside down. However, he has a tremendous amount of knowledge here that he is he is gaining for himself, right? This is his natural light. So this card kind of represents a distraction, but it always kind of represents to me a pause, meaning you're in a position where you're going to just have to wait on the timing of this. And the Hanged Man also represents creative thinking. It is a delay out of your control. So there's nothing you can really do about this situation. You just have to go inside yourself and gain your inner knowledge as to why there is a delay. The other thing is thinking outside of the box. And then the other thing that this could represent is some frustration because of this delay. So again, living your life with purpose brings you prosperity. But this energy is saying, even though this is out of your control, you can control how you respond to this energy. Overall, your cards look really great. I'm going to bring myself back online here. Show full view. That's me. Hi. Okay, so now we're going to pull your last 3 cards. Your first card is your purse. And it says, pay attention to your finances, because there may be things that you're going to need money for. And then you have the teapot. And the teapot says, deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Well, that's awesome. And then your last card is the stork. The stork says, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. So again, stork, be careful, because you're very fertile. If you're very fertile at this point in time. So be aware if you are not interested in having a child, take your precautions. Okay, Pisces, this was amazing. Please let me know what you think about this layout, if you're happy with this layout. I've gotten some positive comments back so far, but I really would like everyone's input. Thank you for being here. Again, subscribe and click the notification bell so that, when these pop up, you are automatically notified that something's dropped for you. Until next time, take care of you, Pisces.